Hold it right there. If you are watching this video, that means that you have already showed me your reading through the lenses to find words and finding patterns graphic organizers. Did you show them to me? Did you get your 5 points? If not, stop this video now. If yes, you may continue. So here it is. The last thing that you're going to have to do is develop a new understanding based on the words that you found in the first part of chapter 1. In this case, the first thing we have to do is try to figure out what the central idea of the text is. Let's look back at your patterns and decide on one. I have a sample one that we're going to look at. When I look back at my words that evoke emotion, I found these 6 words fit a pattern. The pattern I titled Pujols because each of these words describe his emotions when he was up to bat while Jenny Finch was pitching. He was lurched, startled, spun defensively, uncoiled in a violent swing, whiffed, and bewildered. Now that we have a pattern to look at, we can develop a new understanding. First thing that you need to do, which everyone likes to skip over, is first think about what the central idea of the text is. Take a second to think about what you think is the central idea of the text. This is hard at this point because we've only read a few pages. But what do you see happening so far? I think the central idea of this text so far is that things aren't what they seem. Why do I think that? Because so far in this text, we have a girl who's pitching underhandedly to all-star batters, and they're all striking out. So things are not what they seem to me. Using the information you have from one of your patterns, you're going to fill out the deeper understandings from an author. Remember that when you fill out the deeper understandings, you are not simply restating the words or phrases from your pattern sheet, but actually thinking or answering the questions how or why. In this case, for an author, you're going to ask how or why the words you found for the pattern show or relate to the author's tone, purpose, or relationship to the subject or theme. You may not find that your words relate to all 3 of those things. It could be 1, 2, or all 3. But as much as you can, attempt to answer those questions how or why for as many as you can. I asked the question, how or why do the words in my pattern Pujols relate to the author's tone? And I found the first deeper understanding. If you read it below, you'll see the words describing Pujols' attempt to hit one of Finch's pitches creates a defeated tone because they describe the trouble and frustration he is experiencing. Please note that is a complete idea, not just a restated word or pattern. I also asked how or why the words from the pattern related to the purpose, the author's purpose. At the bottom you can see I wrote, I think Epstein used words that would not typically describe an all-star baseball hitter in order to create a sense of wonder in the reader. That way the reader will be anxious to read on. Although some of the words did have a relationship to the subject, being sports or baseball, I chose not to create a deeper understanding because I didn't think there were enough words that were really significant to the central idea or the chapter as a whole. After you have asked the questions how or why an author's, you're going to ask how or why for a text. When you ask how or why for a text, again, you may address some of these, one of these, or all of these different aspects, the central ideas, issues, lessons, symbols, metaphors, and motifs, or themes. I addressed 2 of these concepts. First, using my pattern Pujols again and those same words, I asked how or why do these words connect or relate or convey the central idea? Things aren't what they seem. I said the words defensively, swing, and whiffed are all connected to and repeat the idea. Oh, nope, wrong one. The words describing a pro baseball hitter are not the words that one would expect. Sorry about that. So it's my second deeper understanding that relates to this central idea. The first one relates to themes or motifs, because the words defensively, swing, and whipped are all connected to and repeat the idea of baseball. So you can see how I found those connections and ideas and deeper understandings by asking how or why connected to the central ideas and motifs and themes. 2 deeper understandings is enough. You should definitely have at least 2. 3 might be better. More than 3 could make it difficult for you to write your assertion, which is what we'll do next. Now that you have deeper understandings, you need to create your assertion. You have 2 tools to create your assertion. The first is all of the information that you've put in your deeper understandings box. You want to try to include all of the main points from each of these deeper understandings into your assertion sentence. You can use the frames for thinking about word choice to help you develop your assertion. Remember, you don't have to use one of these frames. These are just to help you in case you're stuck. One pattern I see is that words to describe Pujols' frustration at bat suggest a defeated tone, with words like startled, defensively, and whiffed, which creates a sense of wonder in the reader. You can see that my assertion has pulled some important information from both of the deeper understandings. The defeated tone, frustration. I also included that he was a hitter, and the idea that there was the creation of a sense of wonder. Make sure that you're including as many of the ideas that you have placed in your deeper understandings as possible. Now let's try to develop a second assertion, this time using the deeper understandings from the author. We have 2 ideas here, and we need to try to combine as much information as possible from these 2 ideas and use the frames for thinking about word choice to develop a second assertion. How does this example sound? The words defensively, swing, and whiffed fit together because they are baseball terms, even though they are not the words that one would expect when describing a pro hitter. I like it. You will now complete the Deeper Understandings graphic organizer on your own using patterns that you found with your partner. Before you begin, remember 2 important things. The first thing is that the very first thing you need to do is determine what is the central idea of the chapter. Yes, of course, you can use mine, but feel free to use your own as well. The second most important thing is to remember that in this box go your deeper understandings, ideas, not details. Do not simply restate the details that you had in your patterns graphic organizer. You want ideas. I want to see your thinking here. Answer the questions how or why. Also, remember that your assertion needs to be revised. Make sure that it is accurate. Make sure that it is specific with exact and precise words. And make sure that you, again, are answering the question, why and or so what. Okay? You will be turning in this graphic organizer with the 2 assertions. You do not need to develop either of these assertions in a paragraph. Once you're finished, make sure to turn your work in so it can be graded.